All right, Lisa Grossman! Ow! All right, have a seat. You know, I had someone a long time ago, I was talking to somebody and they said, you've had some success in business, how's that work? I said, well, I'm talented, but I've been very fortunate to work with some people who are very gifted. They said, really? Well, define that. Well, someone like Lisa is extremely gifted. My talent is I finally got her phone number, and now you can understand the difference in those two things. That's how it works. Here's what we're going to do. We want to keep the ball rolling. I'm going to bring up a gentleman now that I've known for a long time, and he also is someone who has a passion for what we do, meaning taking an opportunity, and he'll tell you a little bit about his story and background, but taking the opportunity to see something, look beyond, and then expand upon it. He's someone who is where he is today because he will also admit he had tremendous mentors that he was able to learn from initially and then expand upon. But he's moved on to not just have personal success. He wanted to do more than that. All of us in this space of home business, this space of taking control, we've all seen things that look great and they fell apart or fell out from under us beyond our control. We didn't own it. We weren't in control of it. We thought the story was good, but then it disappeared. He's experienced those same things too, and one day he made a decision to make a shift. He said, this isn't right. I believe he's had success, a lot of personal success, but he'd seen what happens when the wrong things, the wrong situations, the wrong people don't fulfill the promise and commitment. I heard Lisa the other day talking to a group of people, and she said, in the home business space, when we go talk to others about the possibility of changing their life, we are one of two things. We're a prophet or we're a liar, and we really have no control over that. Meaning if those who run the companies or if those who are in charge of the environments, if we don't have that complete control, if they don't fulfill the promise, we're a liar. If they do, we're a prophet. But we don't have that control. He saw that and he said, I want to do it differently because I refuse to quit. Doesn't mean I'll guarantee success, but I'll go down trying, I'll go down swinging, I'll go down dying, but I won't quit, I won't walk away. And so he's then evolved into some technologies that are now part of what are expanding everything we do. He's here today as a founder and CEO of a company that's one of the, as Fernie referred to, it's good to have company owners here as well. One of the sponsor companies, a new company coming on the scene called Rippln. But he's here to talk to you about not that. He's here to talk to you about things he's learned, strategies, and particularly the strategies of today, some of the things that are going on in the marketplace. But bottom line, he is grassroots, 20-year veteran, loves what we do, started where we've started, going from the beginning of a hope, a dream, and that's it, and turning it into reality. So, Jared, fire up some music, baby. Everybody on our feet, and let's bring to the stage, of No Excuses, the founder and CEO of Rippln, Mr. Brian Underwood. Oh, yeah, baby.
Appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely, man.
Excellent.
Absolutely. There you go, Brian. Brian, there you go. Get him going, baby. Get him going. Get him going.
Oh, come on. No excuses. Let me hear you one time. Oh, no excuses. Excellent. How is everybody out there? Outstanding. Well, first of all, I just want to tell Ray and Fernie how blessed and privileged I feel to be here in the presence of greatness. And I truly believe that one of the greatest gifts that you have this weekend, if you pay attention, is the people right around you. There's so many incredible resources in this room, and incredible talent in this room is literally you have the ability to shift and change the world just with the people that are in this room. And so I know that a lot of you have taken a lot of time away from your home. You've spent a lot of money to be here, and more importantly, your time. And so I just want to acknowledge that because I believe that you, like me, you're seeking for more. And all of us are entrepreneurs, and we're looking to shift. We're looking to move forward. Am I right? Yes or no? And so do me a favor. Give yourself a huge round of applause. And because so many times I feel like people are too hard on themselves. And sometimes, the greatest gift you can give yourself is you. And just acknowledging you and the commitment that you have for yourself and your family. And so, one of the things that I really wanted in purpose of being up here tonight is just to share with everyone a little bit of my experience over the last 20 years and really what I see of, the home-based business industry emerging and shifting, and what I like to call social entrepreneurship. And that's why I believe every single person is here, is because of social entrepreneurship. And like Curtis said, is 20 years ago I began on this journey of business. And, being from Kentucky, how many people, is there anybody in here from Kentucky? From Kentucky, say hi, y'all. All right, we got one other person from Kentucky. Excellent. If you haven't been to Kentucky, we have two things. We have basketball and horses, and that's about it. We're going to be talking a lot about technology this weekend. Am I right? Yes or no? Right? Well, in Kentucky, we're a little bit behind, right? My dad used to always tell me, he said, anytime you meet any friends from outside Kentucky, tell them it's great, because if the world comes to an end, just come to Kentucky and you'll have 5 years left. It'll get to you in the back. But the reality of it is that what I have seen in the last 20 years is a huge transformation. And it started with my high school basketball coach that got involved with a home-based business. And he was recruiting my dad. My dad was a CPA. Sat down with him. I was eavesdropping. I was 20 years old. And I was listening to him give this flip chart in this presentation to my dad. He left. And as he left and walked out the door, I went up to my dad and I said, Dad, can I do what Daryl was just talking to you about? My dad kind of laughed and smirked. And he's like, yeah, this would be great. Brian, get out there in the real world, see what it's all about. And so he called Daryl. Daryl turned around. He was from a place called Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Does anybody know where that is? Hopkinsville, you know where it is. Okay. You've been around the world in Arkansas twice, right? If you know where Hopkinsville is. And so he turned around, came back, signed me up into this home-based business, multi-level marketing, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I sat there and I looked at Daryl and I said, well, will you train me? And at the time, the company had a training form. If you were a trainer, you got paid $80 extra. So he said, I am your trainer. Sign this form. I signed this form. And I said, okay, great. Now when do we start? He goes, you're officially started. Now go get them, boy. He walked out the door, went back to Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and I didn't talk to him again. But when he walked out that door, I thought to myself, if he can make $1 million a year doing what he's doing, I looked over at my dad and I said, I am going to get rich. And from that point forward, I was hooked on business and entrepreneurship. And how many people in the room feel like entrepreneurship is addictive? It's like crack, isn't it? And once you get the bug, you can't get it out of your system. And so it's been an amazing journey, and I can tell you that the reward of 20 years in the journey is not about the money. I truly believe it's about the process of who you become in the process of achieving your goals and expanding your goals. But more importantly, what you're able to gain to contribute back. And when I first started in this world of home-based business, it was a multi-level marketing company. And I want you all to really understand this for 2 seconds. When I got started, when we gave a presentation, it was all, call up your friends, go to their home, give them a presentation, do the flip chart, try to get them to a hotel meeting. But literally, if you raise the hand, how many people in the room, really quick, just show of hands, have been involved in network marketing, multi-level marketing, direct sales, whatever it is that you want to call it? How many people in the room have been touched or have participated as a rep or an affiliate with a network marketing company? If you have, raise your hand and say, aye. Look around. Now, here's the amazing thing. 90%, 99% of the people in the room raised their hands. But 20 years ago, when you would say that, if 2 out of 10 people raised your hands, you were lucky. So you spent 90% of your presentation explaining to them the model of leverage, of entrepreneurship, of a better way. But the marketplace has shifted, ladies and gentlemen. And in the last 8 years, anytime I would go into a room or be able to speak to a group of people and you raise your hand and say, how many people have been affiliated or involved? Guess how many people raised their hands? 9 out of 10 people. Now, here's the amazing thing about that, is 9 out of 10 people would raise their hand. Every single one of you have had an experience. Am I right? Yes or no? Here's the reality of it. Some of your experiences have been great. How many people have had an incredible experience with network marketing company? Raise your hand and say yes. How many people have sworn it off, say, I'll never do that stuff again. That stuff is evil. It's the devil, and I'm not going to do it. If you have, say yes. Look around. My point is this. And I'm going to talk to you just for a couple minutes. I'm going to introduce you to someone because I believe, how many people have ever heard every great leader can be led? Has anyone ever heard that? There's a lot of individuals in this room that lead me each and every day, and I want to introduce you to one. But before I do, I think it's important to understand innovation. Because 8 years ago, what I wanted to do is change the perception, change the stigma of people's experience. And here's the one thing that I realized, is all of us have anchors and associations with the experiences that we have in life. Fortunate for me, this industry I've seen change and shift people's lives forever. Not just financially, but just the trajectory of them realizing who they are. And so I want you to understand that transformation in today's world starts with you and starts with simple as language. And based on the language we speak, we carry around associations that are either going to cause us to move forward or limit us and hold us back. Here's the thing I'm going to encourage you this weekend is let go of any associations you have and keep an open mind. And if you keep an open mind, you're going to pick up nuggets that I tell you will create a ripple effect, no pun intended, in the world. And so the passion has come to realize that I believe this whole industry, whether it's internet marketing or network marketing, is colliding. But the only way to shift the perspective in the market is, number one, we have to shift our language. And what I believe, it's a brand new world and brand new marketplace out there. And we don't have to be defined or labeled by any industry. We know who we are and what we're in it for and the good that we can do. And so then you go from transforming yourself and transforming transformational language, meaning, you know, instead of saying I'm a network marketer, internet marketer, I believe we're all social entrepreneurs. And by the way, social entrepreneurship is shifting and changing the world. Pay attention. Look what all of these companies out there are using your social graph, your influence with your relationship to drive their companies today. Am I right? Yes or no? And so understand your power. But the second point to that is transformational technology. See, technology, all of us are aware of it. Some of us use it. But technology has enabled us to connect easier and quicker than ever before with people around the world. Would you guys agree with me? Yes or no? But here's the thing. Remember, technology is a great tool. But the foundation of today's business is about a one-to-one relationship. It's about your influence. You want 2 quick nuggets? Because I know I only have 10 minutes and we have a ton of information. You want 2 quick nuggets? Yes or no? 2 quick nuggets that will change any business that you're in. 2 quick nuggets that will change the course of where you're going and help you create a long tail. Number one, you have to realize that you're building you right now. And your brand is everything. You want to know how to keep people engaged with your brand? 2 quick nuggets. The first one is called innovation. You always have to be innovating. If you're not innovating, your brand will die, because innovation, and the second one is marketing. I just want to talk about one of them really quick, and that is innovation. Because so many people think, I ain't smart enough to know to do something with innovation. Like, I don't know tech. That's how they talk in Kentucky. I don't know how you talk in Las Vegas. But I want you to get a clear understanding of what innovation is and what everybody in this room is doing in today. And we're not doing anything different than Apple or any major company. Apple is in the audience building business, eyeball acquisition. That's the business you're in. And it's about how you can connect with your customers, your fans, or your partners. And you have to constantly innovate. Because if you want a successful business, you have to have raving fans for your brand and what you're doing. Raving fans. The only way to keep a raving fan raving is letting them know how important they are, and you have to innovate. Now, here's a key to innovation. This is the definition of innovation. Innovation is any time you can bring value, new value to that customer, that fan, or that partner. It can be as simple as language and giving them a different perspective with a different language set. Make sense? Yes or no? So always be innovating, always be marketing, and always realize this is your brand, this is you. And so we want to share with you, I have an individual that has been leading me. 3.5 years ago, I said, you know what is the next growth market in the marketplace? Because for me, I knew it was about a conversation. And when you can have a conversation that people weren't used to, they'll drop their guards, especially in the industry of home-based business. And so I was in New York City. I was sitting there in the advertising capital of the world, and it hit me right in front of my face. I was like, what can we do to really stimulate and, as an entrepreneur, capture growth? Because growth is what creates wealth. Position yourself in front of a growth curve in a growth industry. That growth will multiply and magnify your income. And it hit me. I was sitting with billions of dollars of advertising all around me, but no one was looking up at the billboards. They were all looking at their mobile phones. And I said, that's where the eyes are. Mobile engagement is the key for the future. It's not just something, it's everything. And everyone here, you participate in it, you've made that a reality, but most of us aren't using it to profit and to make money. And so we decided to start a mobile media company at that time. It's been very successful. It's still in business today. You know, and we've been able to attract Fortune 500 companies, Global 2000 companies, because it gave them the ability to connect with their customers, with their fans, with their partners for the first time in history on a personal level. And we started it. The market 3.5 years ago wasn't ready to adopt it. But I went to meet an individual that was doing mobile marketing seminars. Him and I had worked together on a project in the past. He said, you got to come in. This thing's passionate. I went to the meeting. It was a room about this size, and there was 3 people in the room. And he got up on that stage, and he delivered a message that lit a fire in me. Even with 3 people in the room, because he knew where the future of mobile was going, and he was preaching the story before we ever even started that project or that company. He has an incredible story, but I know that he's going to go through some information on mobile engagement with you and how it's an impact in the market. If you guys would welcome to the stage really quickly, an individual that leads me each and every day, an incredible person, Mr. Michael Rutherford. Give him a huge round of applause. No excuses.
Thanks, man.
Real quick, if you want to Michael, this is the same time, let me do something really quick with both these guys. Everybody real quick in the back. Oh, good, I guess you got your attention. Guys in the back, we're going to have tons of time to chat. Please do me a favor. Have a seat, enjoy it, or step outside. Good, everybody in here. Thanks so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael Rutherford!
Y'all feel good? No sit down yet. Whoa! No excuses. How y'all doing? Cool, let's have some fun for a minute. I only got a couple of minutes. How many of you guys have your cell phone on? If you do, hold that sucker up. Make the screen light and hold it in the sky. Take a look around. It's freaking...
Now shake it back and forth and go, no, 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 no. I'm joking.
Hold that sucker up. Hold on, this is a good shot. Unbelievable. Here's another really cool question. For those of you want to get that shot? All right, good. Here's another fun question. For those of you that were holding your phone up, how many of you sometime during his talk, or this dude right now, keep doing it, or this chick right here, she's still, look at all you guys like crack addicts on your phones, like, ah, ah. You don't even put them down. How many of you have taken, sorry for the language, how many of you have taken a crap today and taken your cell phone with you? I don't know if I can say that or not, but, okay, one honest person. What do you do with your phone? Leave it in the hallway? No, you take your phone with you. How many of you have your laptops with you? If you do, hold it in the sky. Let's look. 1, 2, 3 barbarians in the room. Email is synonymous with what device? Computers. Text messages are synonymous with which device? Cell phones. Hold them up one more time. How many of you right now, as you walked into this weekend's event, good event so far, by the way, everybody agree? How many of you right now currently have the cell phone database of every single one of your prospects, current customers, or your existing, whatever you want to call it, your group, your tribe, your downline? How many right now, show of hands, have the cell phone number database? You can click one button and put a message into all of their phones right now. You could do it sitting down. Show of hands, how many of you already have the list? 5% of the room. Quit making excuses about not having the technology that is making people millions of dollars today. It's mobile. Mobile is money. I met him, him and I connected 3 years ago and talked about this conversation. And it's common sense. I'm not having to train anybody on the fact that everybody that you know's got a mobile phone. Your 9-year-old kids have a mobile phone. True or true? And your 90-year-old grandma's got a mobile phone. True or true? Everybody in between ought to cover the entire world. But yet most people still don't think it's that big a deal to be able to connect with people on the mobile phone. Look at the statistics. How often people look at their phones is a little bit scary. But probably to me, what's even crazier is the rate at which someone will check a text message. Does anybody in the room just have a bunch of unread text messages? No! How quickly do you read a text? This quick. He'll get a text right now he'll get a reply from whoever. Who was you texting a minute ago? Her? Damn, he's crazy. He texted. How many of you have texted somebody in this room? They sitting in the aisle next to you. The crazy part isn't not that how much people look at their phones, but how quickly, like reflexively. As if your wife's pregnant, she's about to give birth any minute, and it's that one text, oh, I can't miss it. That's how quickly people read messages. But most people don't use mobile as a way to communicate with people. When I saw the video of him walking through the New York City streets in Times Square, and I've been there several times. I was there for a New Year's Eve a couple years ago. People are walking in and out of cabs, walking on the sidewalks, looking at their phones, not looking up at the billboards at all. So the amount of people that are on mobile is astounding. Here's what else is unique. If you want to figure out how to make money, do what people that make more money than you do. Isn't that what this weekend's about? If the guy on stage makes more than you do, shut up, do what he does, and you'll probably get some version or fraction of what he or she gets. Cool? So you can look around at the biggest brands in the world that are building mobile databases, that are not just building online databases and communities, they're building mobile communities. They're building connections with the one device that people take. How many of you use your phone as an alarm clock? Show of hands. Hello, that means you take your phone to bed with you. Ladies, how often do you have to nudge your dude because he's got his phone in the bed? All the time. So we, for the last handful of years, have worked
That's a different training, Michael.
That training is in the breakout session later. But what's funny is you can look around the world and look at every major brand, Fortune 500 companies like Brian has said that we've worked very intimately and one-on-one with to help them build a mobile strategy. So it's silly for people to, one, not have a mobile Rolodex of the people that they need to engage with regularly, and two, still have some sort of old school website. Show me with your fingers what you do when somebody's got a really weird website. You got to go like, how many have done this? You got to go like this on the phone? Come on. It's 2013. People have got to step up their games. It's about going mobile in every area of what they do. So whether it's a traditional company, a brick and mortar company, like a KFC or like Snoop Dogg that we've worked with, or Mercy Me, or Waka Flocka, or Herman Cain, you name it. Everybody's got the same challenge. They got a bunch of people they need to try to connect with, and there's a bunch of static out there, and it's about connecting with them on mobile. Or it's about an individual. This is one of my main things. I'm almost done, by the way. But it's about connecting with people on a one-to-one mobile level. How many of you have a paper business card right now? And if we met outside in the hallway, you'd hand me a paper business card, and it would look something cheesy and goofy. Oh, I know I got something in here. It would look like this with a bunch of words written on it. Do I need this one? No. It's got a bunch of words on it. How many of you have a box of these in the trunk of your Benz or on the bottom of your desk? They're absolutely worthless. Mobile business cards are where it's at. I'm aggressive, dude. I'm fired up. Mobile business cards. Build a Rolodex of every person you've ever met in your life. Hey, what do you do, man? Just text my name to this number. You'll get my whole mobile business card texted to you. That kind of stuff is just the tip of the iceberg. So with the guys that have set up this weekend's event, if you've not already done this, I know it was in your packet. If you've not already done this, open up your phone, which I know you got it. In the phone number, just type 90210. In the message, without any spaces, just type no excuses and then hit send. If you don't already have what this thing's going to illustrate to you, you're nuts. That's just my thoughts, but we've done this long enough.
And this is something that Ray and Fernie set up for everyone in the room as part of a gift to give you a platform and solution to use when you leave here. And for the next 30 days, it's absolutely free. And if you text that, I know they're going to be getting you that information. So,
What's the question?
what was?
Get one. Don't make excuses. Oh, hey, you put the ball on the tee, man. What was I going to do? Not hit it?
Oh my gosh!
You guys picking up what we're laying down? Is this making sense? Whew. Hey, it's red with 4 zeros. I'm done. I'm going to shut up and get back to you, dude.
Well, I can't even say bye in 0 seconds, but no. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you all feel his energy, yes or no? Absolutely. Here's the one thing that I can tell you, and just and I know we have to get off, but another little nugget, a tool to use, and my dad had it written on his office door that I saw for literally 15 years growing up, and it said, knowledge is power, but enthusiasm flips the switch. And let me tell you something. I saw him go from living in an extended stay hotel, bussing tables, to generating literally $1 million in income coming into his home. And it wasn't because he was a technology expert. It wasn't because he was an expert in mobile media or text marketing. It was one reason. He had an excitement for life and to do more and to keep moving forward. And Ray, can I give one more gift, just 3-minute story? Is that okay? Do we have time for that? Otherwise, I can run off. Is that okay? Okay, great. Can I share with you guys one more story that I believe is integral, because I know that all of us, I don't know many of you in the room, am I right? But I do believe all of us are connected some way, somehow, or we wouldn't be here. And one of the things that I want to leave with everyone is just a personal note, and that is because you're going to learn a lot of strategies, you're going to learn a lot of information, you're going to meet some incredible people. And there is differentiators of when you see someone doing something great. It's because you can recognize greatness because you see a lot of greatness that you know that you have in you, because greatness comes from heart. It doesn't come from logic. It doesn't come from intelligence. Greatness comes from what's within. And I know that every single one of you, we're all on different paths, but the reality of it is we don't know where everybody is in that process, because all of us have been through different challenges and different trials and tribulations. And I had an opportunity to, learn about an individual that went through some of those trials and tribulations, but when he was a kid, he used to write on a little notepad and draw stick figures, and when he rolled them together, it would create what? What would it create? Animation, right? It would create a cartoon. And he was an artist, and he put a lot of creativity, and he finally one day came up with this character that he fell in love with, absolutely fell in love with. And so he started trying to get published, and he literally moved to Los Angeles, California to try to meet someone to publish him and go into some of the advertising firms. Finally, one day he had someone that was interested in this character that he created. But they lived all the way in New York City. He didn't have a lot of money at the time, so he had to take a train from Los Angeles to New York City. Can you imagine how long that trip would be? And when he got to New York City, he went in and he pitched them on this incredible innovation, this cartoon, and this character that would come to life. And this advertising firm literally signed him on the spot and made a deal with him. He inked the papers. He took the train all the way back to California and started producing this cartoon. The guy's name was Walt Disney. Does anybody know who the character was? No. It was Oswald the Rabbit. Before Mickey Mouse, there was Oswald. And Oswald was the first creation that Walt Disney fell in love with. It was everything that he had, he put into Oswald. And Oswald went nuts in the marketplace. It became an absolute phenomenon. And Walt started hiring more graphic animators there in Los Angeles, and it was starting to soar. But a year later, Walt started realizing that even though that the cartoon was having a ton of success, he wasn't making any money. Because when he was in New York City, he got so overzealous And when he signed the contract, he didn't realize that he signed a one-sided contract that gave all of the rights to his creation to that advertising firm. Slowly and surely, those animators started leaving and quitting, and he didn't understand why. Once he realized that he signed this one-sided deal, he took a train back up to New York City to renegotiate. On his way back up to New York City, he walked in the door, and when he walked into that door of the advertising firm, he recognized that 90% of the staff was the same staff that he hired in Los Angeles. Can you imagine how he must have felt? He had everything taken from him. His character of Oswald, his creativity, the very concept of cartoons. Can you imagine how dejected he must have felt? Putting his head down, not knowing what to do, he knew that he'd lost everything. And when he got back on that train, he started heading back to Los Angeles. And here's the interesting story. I believe that Walt Disney is one of the most amazing characters that's ever stepped foot on this planet. A lot of people don't realize, but Walt was sexually abused as a child. He had two older brothers. They were both gone out of the home when he was growing up, so he didn't have anybody to protect him. But I don't think any of us could ever realize the darkness that he went through as a child, the loneliness. And the reason I believe he's one of the most amazing characters is because he's an individual that was able to take all of those trials and tribulations, and he was able to forge them into something great. Because on the train ride back to California, that's when he got out his notepad and his pen. And that's when he came up with and created the character that we all know too well, M-I-C-K-E-Y. Mickey Mouse. And here's the thing is, how many of you before today have ever seen an amusement park, a magazine, a book, stuffed animals on Oswald the Rabbit? Very few. But how many of us all too often have seen or heard of Mickey Mouse? Walt Disney was able to take his trials, his tribulations, and all of that pain, and he was able to forge it into a creativity that has touched and inspired millions and millions and millions of children and people all around the world. Isn't this true? So my question to you is this. Did that advertising agency steal everything that Walt had? He stole his money. They stole his creativity, the concept of cartoons. They stole everything, right? But the one thing that they couldn't touch, the one thing that they couldn't steal, was his magic. It was the magic that Walt Disney had inside of him that they could not touch. And the reality of it is, every single one of us, we have that magic that's in us, and nobody can take the magic that's in you. No matter where you are in life, those trials and those tribulations, life happens for us. It doesn't happen to us. So remember that you are the differentiator. You have greatness inside of you, and don't let anyone tell you different, because that's what creates a ripple effect. And so with that being said, to each and every one of you, thank you so much for your time, your energy. Sorry, Ray and Fernie, that we went over, but you guys have an incredible weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, y'all. See you.
Onward! Way to go, brother. Way to go. Well, if you get excited, you'll be okay. All right, what a great story. Yes, all righty. Okay.